Let's get started making our vintage zoo poster. First of all, hopefully your layout looks like this. If it doesn't, you can go to Edit, Preferences, go down here to Window Management, and then you can reset your saved windows default values and just follow whatever prompts it says. I'm going to cancel. If you ever accidentally close out any of your docs, your tool dock or your tool options dock, your layers dock, your brushes dock, one thing you can do is just go up to Windows and go into dockable dialogues, and here they all are. Just click on the one that you're missing and it'll pop back up for you. We're going to File, New, Start a new document, and notice there's some templates up here. We're making a poster this week, so you're going to choose 1600 by 1200. This is pixels. And if you want a landscape poster, great. And if you want a portrait poster, click portrait and then go OK. It's going to just fit that and squeeze it into the window for you already. Then we're going to make some layers. So let's go ahead and start with our original. I'm going to put that one on the bottom. So File, Open as Layers, and go and find that original picture that you picked. And there it is. I'm going to lock it. And I'm going to create a new layer. I can do that easily by just going down here to this little page, and it'll click a new layer. And you're going to name that layer your border, if you're planning on doing a border. I'm thinking bottom to the top, okay? Because the bottom layer is going to show up only whatever you can't see through the top layers. Okay, so this will be my border. And for now, I'm just going to leave it as a transparency. If you already have your foreground and background color picked, you could fill it in with whatever color you want, but I'm not there yet. The next layer is going to just be my background color. So my next layer, I'm just going to do an other, just in case there's something that I decide I want later on that I kind of forgot and I want a layer for it. I'm going to create my lines layer. That's where you're going to trace, right? I'm going to create my color, where I'm going to fill in the color, right? I've got text. And that's looking pretty good. So let's go ahead and save what we have. Save as, name it. This is your vintage zoo poster. You can name it something different, more specific if you want. Figure out where you have your image design folder and go ahead, and I'm going to just call this vintage zoo poster. You know what? I'm going to be saving over this other one. I'm going to replace it. Okay, remember, if you don't want to replace another file, just give it a different name. You can add a number to the end of it. That'll help. Great. So I've got my original that I'm going to be using to kind of trace around. And then I've got, let's see, all my other ones. And now the next thing I'm going to add on top of everything else is my palette. So I am going to go back to our classroom over here. And I want to use this as my palette. I'm going to use my snipping tool. You can find your snipping tool by just going in and searching snipping, and it'll come up under your programs. I've already got mine open. You just click new and select the area that you're wanting to snip, and then once you do that, you have options. You can save it. I'm just going to copy it and go back to GIMP, and I'm going to edit, paste as a new layer. Okay, and so that's on the very top layer, and I'm going to double click that, and I'm going to call that my color palette. Perfect. Enter and Control S to save. That's our start. Okay, I'm going to change the size of my color palette so I can see a little better by clicking on the scale tool and then click on the image, and I'm just going to increase that to about 800. But before I do, I want to lock it. okay? Because when I change this number, when I click tab, it'll automatically keep the proportion of it. So changing that to about 800, hit tab. Notice it changed the dimensions of the other. And then click. I know that's right in front of my picture. It's just a reference, so I can just hide that easily and come back and look at it when I need to. And I'm going to start with my first layer. We're going to do the border first, so you're going to click on that layer. Remember, whatever layer you have highlighted, that's the layer that the work is going to show up on. So the first thing I want to do is just change the whole color of my border. I'm going to do that by picking the color that I want off of this palette here that I have, and I can just click here. If you hover your cursor over, you see there's an eyedropper, and you can come over and you can sample and get any color that you want off of this palette. So notice that that gave me that beautiful purple blue color that I wanted, or yeah, and click OK. Now make sure you're in your border, take your fill tool, and then make sure once you click on that, just go back and make sure that it's selected. And then if you just click, you'll notice that it filled that whole entire canvas on that layer only with blue. If I hide it, it's gone, okay? So right now I'm just kind of focusing on getting a border. So it's not a border yet because I don't have a different color here in the middle. So I'm going to do that next. I'm going to work on the background color that I wanted. I'm going to pull up my color palette again, which I can't see right now because it's hidden. So click on the eye and now it's visible. So click on that foreground color, or if you want to switch, you can put that purple back into your background and then click on that and grab your dropper. And I want to come in and pick this pretty purple color here. And I'm going to click OK. So notice I'm in the color palette right now. I want to go on to my background color. Now I'm not going to fill the entire layer with that color because I want to have a border showing up. So let's hide my palette reference and let's go up here to this rectangle. Click on that. Okay, and now I can draw a rectangle and see how I want my border. Probably about like that. It's good. And now I'm going to fill in the background color there. So I'm grabbing this paint bucket, make sure the background color layer is selected, and just click. Oh, it's going to use that foreground color automatically, and it fills it in for you. Really important to save, so Control S, save. Now I don't want my marching ants, so select none. Perfect.